So, in the last 10 years, hormonal imbalances and autoimmune illnesses in women have increased by 50%. So it's really clear, ladies, we are doing something wrong. And I know one of the key things to this is that we are not living by our natural cycles. Our natural biology, the way that we have evolved, is supposed to live in accordance to our natural 28-day cycle. And for women, this is called the Infradian cycle. So one thing that's really important to note is that women are running to a 28-day cycle called the Infradian cycle, whilst men run to a 24-hour cycle called the circadian cycle. Now, what that means is, if you can imagine in a man's world, the typical day, the 9 till 5, the workplace, everything runs to that 24-hour biological cycle. So how do we do this then? Because as women, those 24 hours, we need to spread those over 28 days. So if you can imagine a 4-week cycle, and imagine that every week you should be living in accordance to a slight shift. And they say that over 25% of the brain chemistry changes within those 28 days. So it's really important for us to really be living to that natural cycle. So let's talk more about what that cycle looks like. So in phase one is the follicular stage. In this phase, I see this as our spring, and it's commonly known as the spring because we are so much more creative, we have new ideas, we want to try new things. So think about spring when everything is just coming out to blossom, right? So you could be thinking of new workouts, you might want to try new foods. The foods that you eat, think about like sprouted seeds that are just growing out. Those are the foods that you want to be eating. Think about the way that you approach your work. You might have those ideas, those inspirational moments. This is the time to really admire and to really hone in on that, because you are full of creativity in this spring-like phase. So in phase two is now where we are ovulating. And in this phase, it's like summer. So come on, you know what it's like in summer, right? You want to get out, you want to socialize, you want to be with people, you have all of this energy to expand. So come on, this is the time to communicate great ideas. If there's a difficult conversation that you need to have, now is that time. This is the week. Make sure all of those important meetings that you have are scheduled wherever possible in this week. This is the time where you might want to do your intense workouts, you might want to push your weights a little bit more. You have the energy to use, so use it. This is the amazing summer part of our cycle. But notice that this is in this week before we move into phase 3. So phase 3, often known as the luteal phase, is like autumn. And in autumn we start to slowly retreat. So this is the time when you want to complete the tasks that are on your to-do list. It's not about starting something new, it's about completion. It's about a slight reflection to know what is it that I need to get out of the way and complete, because now we're bringing things to an end. And when we look at that in terms of how we move our body and exercise, we want to start moving from more intense movements to maybe, bringing in the yoga, the slower pace stuff, and not being so high energy, but just trying to bring that back a bit. When we think about meetings and meeting a lot of other people at work or in our personal life, we might want to just pull back on that a little bit. And when it comes to our nutrition, we also want to think about, really grounding ourselves back in now. So you might want to start consuming more of those root vegetables, so things like carrots and parsnips, or even pumpkin and sweet potato, that really give you that grounding and warming energy. Because next is phase 4. And in phase 4, which is our menstrual week, this is our winter. And in winter, we want to snuggle up. We want to feel warm and we want to feel cozy. And most importantly, we want to conserve our energy. And interestingly, in this time, this is when our brain, our left and our right brain hemispheres, are communicating effectively to each other. So this is a great time to actually be able to communicate how we feel. And in order to do that, we need to create space to reflect. So this is that reflection time, that time to analyze. It's the time that I do one of my biggest dreads, which is like my monthly finances. I look through it all and I just reflect on all of it, check out the details. detailed, you know, check what's right, what's wrong, and rebalance everything. This is the time where Netflix and chill is all okay. It is perfectly acceptable to want more than one afternoon nap. This is a time for movement where you want to be walking slowly, you want to be doing yin yoga, you really want to move the body slowly in the way that it's asking for. So really monitoring and really preserving that energy that you have by just thinking about how you move. This is the time where in your relationships it's perfectly acceptable if you live with others to say, okay guys, time to go out, my time, personal self-care, self-love time. This is the time to clear things out of the diary, because the only thing that you want to be prioritizing in this time is yourself and your self-care. So I hope that's made it clear, because I am so wanting to invite you to really honor your natural cycles. And by doing this, you will have more energy, you'll be optimized, you will live guilt-free, because there will be certain times that you'll notice are allocated to certain things that you want to do. And by living more in sync with those, you actually will feel like you can get things done. It's just about when do you get it done. So I would love to hear what you have to say on this topic, how you can incorporate Infradian cycle and living to your natural biological cycle. So leave me a comment below, and if you know somebody that you think would also think of all the women that would benefit from this information, do share this video with them and leave me a comment below, and I will definitely answer your questions that you have around this topic. I know it's not something that we're talking about enough, and it's something that's impacting how we feel energetically every single day. Now, if you are also like me and you've come to realize that health is your true wealth, then do subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I really want to be here to support you on your accountability journey to achieving your health goals. Take care.